Did you know some factories are so automated they don't even need lights? In China, these dark factories are popping up everywhere. Think robots doing everything: manufacturing, assembly, even quality control, all in complete darkness. Why should you care? Simple: faster production, lower costs, and way fewer errors. It's the future of manufacturing, plain and simple. But here's the crazy part. Some experts are saying this could lead to massive job displacement and a totally different global economy. Is it progress, or are we handing everything over to the machines? Let me know what you think in the comments. And hit that follow button for more mind-blowing tech.
Oke, Dark Factory. Jadi ini adalah istilah yang juga sering digunakan atau let out manufacturing, yaitu bagaimana fasilitas produksi yang beroperasi sangat sedikit, bahkan tanpa kehadiran manusia ya. Dan ini juga kadang tanpa penerangan, nih kita bisa lihat di foto. Dan ini karena proses produksi yang ada di factory dikendalikan oleh robot, AI, ataupun juga jaringan sensor canggih. Nah, pastinya banyak dalam satu sisi produksi bisa berjalan secara nonstop tanpa adanya shift manusianya ya. Dan berarti peningkatan outputnya juga akan lebih maksimal lagi. Di satu sisi ini juga berdampak kepada efisiensi. Salah satunya efisiensi mengenai energi industri, dan ini di beberapa kasus bisa mengurangi hingga 15 lebih efisiensi 15 sampai 20%. Nah, apa tantangannya nih bagi HR ya? Dari Konveri, dari risetnya mengenai HR Challenge in Manufacturing Digital Transformasi, mengidentifikasi ternyata ada 4 tantangan utama bagi HR untuk menghadapi transformasi industri atau manufacture ini. Pertama, bisa jadi strategi tenaga kerja yang sulit untuk diidentifikasi, kemudian kurangnya kemahiran atau digital fluency di HR atau di frontliner, adanya culture resistancy and change resistance, dan pastinya ini juga membutuhkan kebutuhan kolaborasi lintas fungsi. Oke, jadi untuk membahas hal ini, pagi ini kita beruntung sekali bersama Pak Jayanta Cakravarti, seorang pemimpin HR Global di Indorama Corporation. Sebelum kita masuk ke sesi diskusinya, saya yakin Bapak dari Ibu semua ingin mengenal lebih dekat siapa sosok inspiratif kita pagi hari ini. Izinkan saya menyapa beliau ya. Good morning Pak Jayanta, selamat pagi.
Good morning, everyone.
Pak, before we dive into the main discussion, I believe our audience would love to get to know you better. Would you introduce
Wonderful.
yourself?
Okay, thank you so
Silakan,
much, Bu, and thank you so much, Bu Auntie, for inviting me for this interesting discussion.
Yeah.
I'll be a little slow so that people can understand. Uh, you know, uh, Before joining Indorama,
Mhm.
I had a large experience, and throughout it is manufacturing.
Okay.
So I started my career with a
Mhm.
company which is now one of the topmost company
Okay.
into industry 4 and 5. My first company, that is ABB. And when
ABB.
I see a lot of videos,
Mhm.
right, wherever there is no automation,
Mhm.
robots, I can see ABB logo everywhere.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that gives me such a big, no, good feeling that no, I worked with that company in my beginning of my career. Started my career with that company.
Mhm.
When I first watched the movie called Jurassic Park,
Mhm.
and I asked how this movie got created, how the dinosaurs got created. I figured out that's the robots of ABB. So
Mhm.
that's the interesting part of working with that company, which is from very beginning. I'm talking about 1999, 2000, when that
Mhm.
company was almost at a level where a lot of companies are thinking now,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So after working with ABB, I worked with another company which is into textile, which is Arvind Mills.
Okay.
Arvind Mills is one of the largest producer of fabric
Mhm.
and yarn in Southeast Asia. It's one of the largest in India also. Then I worked with a company into pharmaceuticals, which is called Dr. Reddy's, which is one of the largest manufacturer of medicine in India.
Mm,
Then I worked with a company called C8 Tires. So it is into tire manufacturing.
mm,
Then there's a company called Sepco 3, which is into EPC and into all kind of power, power plant manufacturing, creation, EPC company.
mhm,
So largely, I have all kind of manufacturing experience, and so I have seen an era of 25 years,
mhm,
starting from 2000 to 2025. I have seen all kind of manufacturing, and I have seen how this manufacturing is changing its courses in different phases,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Starting where it was more of a production line,
Mhm,
assembly line.
okay.
Workers are working in the plant in small, very clear job descriptions. You are supposed to be doing this work. To seeing that there are automation happening in the plant. Slowly, I have seen there are sensors getting put in the plant so that it can record things appropriately, give information to the next processes.
Mhm,
Also, I have seen now people using drones
okay.
in very unique manufacturing where they see the complete area assessment with a drone. So I've seen like no now in Indorama also we are using lot of artificial intelligence in terms of AR and VRs to make people understand their SOPs,
Mhm,
right? Easy to augment what you are doing through the systems and then doing it accordingly.
yeah.
So I'm seeing that how AR is helping the employee
Mhm.
to so that's my experience, bro. Like no and being HR, I have seen like how the talent perspectives are changing, how the new talents are coming with a lot of new thought process and new skill sets.
Yeah.
So things are changing, bro. Things are changing, and I'm pretty happy that uh, Industry 5 that we are all talking about
Fine.
now
Mhm.
is putting the human back to the process again,
Yeah, okay.
right? Industry 4 was all about technologies, automation,
Technology.
sensors, right? Human element was missing somewhere. So it is
Mhm.
again, we are
Mhm.
seeing that we are bringing the human back.
Human
So
bear.
that's the change that we are all looking at.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
interesting, Boo, and
Yeah.
let's we can start the discussion.
Okay.
I can share
Okay.
my
Thank
thought
you so much,
process.
Pak Jayanta. Okay, let's move into our main discussion, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
very good. So
Pak, from your global experience,
hmm,
why do so many digital transformation fail not because of technology, but because of leadership and culture?
yeah, absolutely. I see. You know, it's all about so
Hmm.
slowly we are again moving back to the thought process that are you doing the right things,
Hmm.
right? So when we question that, it's not always about efficiency. It is not about always the productivity. It is about looking back to yourself and
Hmm.
seeing, are you into right things?
Hmm.
I give you one example. We are into, we are into textile, we are into fashion, right? We are into a lot of clothing. So we are into fast fashion. Every week you go to Marks and Spencer, Zara, or any fashion store, you will find the shelves getting changed.
Hmm.
So you go one Saturday, you will find some kind of clothing there. Next Saturday, you'll find different clothing in that shelf. So do you think all these merchandise are getting sold?
Hmm.
I doubt.
Hmm.
I doubt. So
Okay.
what is happening to the merchandise which is not getting sold? Are you putting it in the seconds? Are you putting it into the factory outlet, or are you sending it to the landfills? These clothings, you go to a country called, no, there's a place in Chile, there is a mountain which is heave of all the garments, all the clothings, waste garment.
Yeah.
It's like a shape of a hill. It's a mountain of all waste.
Clothes.
So is that correct? Is that correct? So
Mhm.
slowly we are moving to another regime called slow fashion,
Yeah.
not fast fashion, slow fashion.
Mhm.
So the textile, the fabric that you are using can use for a longer period of time, not just throwing it. Maybe some kind of innovations that we need to work on so that you can maybe wear it once, twice, thrice with a different, it can change color, it can change texture, it can change the design, auto design change. So some kind of innovations will come into the play, like in the fashion industry, which will be making it slow rather than throwing it after two wear or three wears, right? So that's all happening. So a lot of people try to get into it. We can get into the the details with the thought process how the things changed. Now, so Bu Auntie, do you want me to share the slides one by one and getting into the crux
Yeah.
of this
Yeah.
question?
Yes,
Let.
please do.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's I'll just share the slide. So share.
Okay.
Can you see the slide?
Yes. You can share slide.
Okay,
Okay.
right? Okay,
Okay, perfect.
cool. So, this is a very famous picture, like, where you can see, the robots touching the hand of the human being. So this is what is happening currently, where we want to we want to again connect back to the processes, to the system, to the technology, right? And let the robot also feel us. We also feel the robot. So this is more of a symbiotic change that we are all looking at. And I believe that the HR leadership has to play a large role in the scheme of things, right? So when we see, there are a lot of questions that we really need to know, maybe we need to work on. So I have tried to put some of the questions and try to look at things that what are the changes that are going to happen, what are the things that we need to really explore, right?
Yeah.
So what will define competitive advantage in the next decade, whether it is technology, whether it is talent, whether it is sustainability, right? So we have to really we have to discuss on innovation or efficiency or ethics. What is our core, where we want to get into, right? So that's the question that we need to answer. As machine become more intelligent, what uniquely human capabilities will define the factories of the future, right? So this is another question that we need to really answer, that machines are getting more intelligent now, right? And in that scheme of things, HR, the human capital, the human element, what they will be getting into, right? We will be getting into imagination, we'll be getting into empathy, we will be getting into adaptability, right? Where we'll be getting into. Can the manufacturing industry achieve true sustainability? People talk about sustainability, but if you really look at those industries, they basically trade off, right? They trade off between growth and planet. But do we want our planet goals to describe our growth? That's what we need to think. That the planet needs to be the prime source of our growth, right? You need really to think, like, things are pretty changing fast, and we really need to think of that. What are the goals? What are the sustainability goals, right? What are the goals that you want to keep for the planet right? And whether our the product are aligned to those goals or not. So that's the question that we need to answer. Will the future factories be dark? Like you were talking about dark factories, Boo, and you have so many videos in the YouTube. You see that like full of videos where dark factories are talking about. So it talks about 100% automation, no human being. People are talking about 100% automation. So do you think that is possible? I was reading a tweet from in the Twitter uh, from a lot of people like they say they tried it, but it's not working. It's not working. It's a failure, right? Uh, so that's what we really need to think of, whether we need to get into more human-centric, the bright factories, or the dark factories. Dark factories are complete no power out, no power, because robots don't need light. They can work in the dark, right? You don't need power there. You don't need lights. So you can save cost on the power, right? No human interaction required. So fine, they're given the feeds that you are supposed to work like this, machines are working like this, right? But the future is different, Boo. We'll come into that. How will AI, robot, digital twins reshape entire manufacturing value chain? This is a very, very critical element that we need to discuss, right? So that will encourage leaders to think beyond production to ecosystem, right? It is not only about production, it is a complete ecosystem that we need to think of, right? Will manufacturing remains global or technology enable to return to localized micro factory network, right? So that's another important element. How can manufacturers balance mass production and extreme personalization, right? So this is what is happening. It's extreme personalization. In fact, uh, Adidas tried to have this extreme personalization. It failed actually. They wanted to have shoes given by straight from customers' requirement, and they wanted it. They called it Speed Factory. Didn't work. It's challenging. It is very, very challenging to get into that level of personalization, right? How can data predictive analytics transform not just efficiency, but creativity and innovation? So insight driven, not data driven, insight driven. So that need again the human element, right? What will be the manufacturing workforce for the future look like? Hybrid teams, AI, cobots. Uh, Cobots are collaborative robots. Cobots. So I think there are so many questions that is there that we all try to answer. But Ibu, no, this is the journey that we have all gone through. Industry 1, and there is another industry which is we are talking about industry 6 also there in the future, right? But we have seen this 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, we are all seeing it. 5 is slowly picking up. We'll get into it. But industry 3 basically, where we all talked about, typically birth of factories. 1 is birth of factories. 2 is typically the mass production. 3 is the automation. 4, we are talking about the cyber physical systems where there is a value chain. We are using a lot of big data. We are talking about clouds. We are talking about robotics, right? Which is typically 2010 onwards, right? So there we are all talking about smart factories. So there is a transition that we are all seeing. 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you really ask me, though, where we are today in Indonesia, India, or Southeast Asia, where we are today, I still believe we are in 3. We are still in 3. We are still in little bit of 4. We are still trying to assess what technology we want, what kind of sensors we want, what kind of Internet of Things that we need to work on. What machines need to talk to each other? We are still into it. China is little ahead, Europe is little ahead, US is little ahead, but you know, maybe in a big factory, small area is industry 4, small area is industry 5, not fully, right? It is not all there. It is there in a small part, little way, right? Some there is a still mass production happening. So you go to Bangladesh, you'll find still mass labor intensive. Everybody is working, no, in the factory, there's thousands of employees, no, and working. So all there. This is, I believe, all the, whether it is 1, 2, 3, 4, all there in some part. So industry 4 is a big change and it will remain there for some time till we get into industry 5 or industry 6. Right? So industry 4 will try to see something, what all happening there, industry 5, what all happening there, and maybe we can take it from there. So if you see industry 1, so you can see the typical textile, where we started with a cotton mill, right, which is labor intensive, very, very operative and powered machine, right? Industry 2, you go to engineering, where you got automobiles started. Like if I worked with Asian Paints, right? Automating color batching. I have seen that happening in Asian Paints. So this is industry 2. I work with C8, and I have seen how PLCs and robotics are in the curing lines. When they manufacture tires, they are using PLCs. So PLCs are typically automation 3, industry 3. Pharma, typically they use automation in quality control department, right? But when we slowly got into industry 4, I have seen Internet of Things in Arvind Mills, where they manufacture denim, right? Asian Paints, I have seen they are using AI batching, artificial intelligence batching. So they create batching based on the customer requirement, supply chain, and then they got a very interesting warehouse management system which is AI driven. Tires, they started using real-time sensors, right? In Pfizer, they use digital twins. So typically they create a system before they actually wanted to get implemented. So there are digital twins. Same thing, they are doing it in a simulator before they put it in the practice. So simulations. ABB have been there for all kind of robotics and assembly lines. So that's there. So industry 4 there. Now industry 5, there are a lot of personalization is happening in paint industry, right? So a lot of experience, customer experience, human experience are coming into play. So if you go to any paint shop in India, I've seen it you go to the shop, you sit in the room, they will take the photograph of your room and they show you putting different paints, that how your room will look like, right? So if you ask for certain color, they will mix and show you, if you use this color, your kid's room will look like this, right? You can put some design in the room. You can put some creativity in the room. So they will give you the experience. That's industry 5, building the customer experience, making the customer feel, right? That's very important. Tires also, if you see, there are airless tires, right? That's coming. So there is a circular tire because a lot of carbon is getting used in tire manufacturing. So now tire is made up of carbon. It's complete carbon, right? So how to get into the circular manufacturing? Engineering, if you see, lot of design thinking happening. So slowly we are getting into industry 5. But if you really ask me, the question that we need to really ask, now we have so many participants. How many participants there in this call, Boo?
Mm,
26.
26. So if you ask me, if you have worked in any manufacturing, and if I ask you where you see yourself, first, brown, the orange color, the blue color, or the purple color. If I ask you where you are, 90% of the people will be talking about operations, supply chain, life cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Integrated product life cycle, integration happening horizontally, vertically,
Yeah.
right? So this is nothing. This is industry 3. This is
Okay.
typically industry 3, where we are still working on the process, system, product life cycle, operations, improvement in the system. It is still there. We are still in that phase. So we have to really do the reality check where we are. We are talking big things, but reality check is we are still at that place, right? We are yet to get into maybe 20% automation in some part, connectivity in some part, intelligence in some part, which is blue part, right? The blue area, which talks about shop floor, enterprise connectivity, facility connectivity, that technology part is still very, very nascent. A lot of people are doing it, maybe 20%, 30%, 50%, right?
Yeah.
Now, the purple part is all about how we are, if we are putting some technology, how the organization is helping it, how
Okay.
we are creating systems to make it more impactful, whether it is strategy governance, whether it is intra-company collaboration, whether it is leadership competency, whether it is training and development.
Okay.
Right? So so reality check is important that no, where is the readiness? Are you ready for that? Or you're still in a stage, we are building it, right?
Yeah.
This is the question that we need to ask.
Baik, Pak Jayanta, how can HR move from being a super function to become a strategic driver of transformation in
Yeah.
digital?
Yeah. Come back again, Boo.
Okay. How can HR move being a support function to become a strategic driver of transformation?
I'll come to that. We'll slowly move into that. I'll get into that. Okay. Right. So reality check. Let's see this. Germany, Japan, South Korea, they are near 4. They're still to get into 5. They are still near 4.0. Right? They're still 4.0. Many emerging economics like India, Indonesia, Africa, they're still between 3 to 4. Industry 3 to 4. Means they are still working on production lines, operations, supply chain. They are yet to get into identifying the right sensors. They're identifying the right AR, VR technology. They are yet to find out where they need to put the autonomy or autonomous stuff, where they need to get into the manual, where there are autonomy required. So still they are evolving over a period of time. There is infrastructure gap. I was just to give you one example. I was in Nigeria for Indorama, Nigeria, and we were working with agri, people. So when I asked them where you put the urea is the fertilizer, where you put urea. So they said that I have got a big land. I put urea all across, right? So there is, say, 10 hectares of land. You give urea, they just sprayed urea in the full land. So people ask them that, do you know which part of your land needs which kind of nutrients? Maybe one part of the land needs more nitrogen. One part of the land needs more phosphate, right? Maybe some land needs potassium. So do you do the testing, soil testing, and then put the urea? They said, no, we don't have that technology. No, I'm talking about Nigeria, which is no African country. So we don't have the technology. I cannot see this huge 10 hectares land, and I cannot separate out where to put what. So I use urea mix everywhere. I said that's a waste of urea. right? So they said that why don't you use drones? In Europe and US, there are drones which takes the data from various part of the land and tell you that this part of the land needs this fertilizer. This part of the land needs this fertilizer. That needs the technology. He said, how I'll be buying this $8,000 drone? I need at least 5 drones, and I don't have money to buy the drones. That's where we are, right? That's where we are. This technology is costly.
Yeah.
This is not easy to buy, though we know how to use it, though we know this is important, it is critical, but our viability to run the business using that particular thing is not supporting the profitability. I can take best of the robots, but that doesn't support my profitability, just like your Adidas Speed Factory, right? They put the costliest factory,
Yeah.
but it didn't work because the viability is not there, the profitability is not there. So that's where we need to think of that all there, whether that infrastructure is supporting your business. Now, once you have the infrastructure, there is a skill gap. Maybe you need to have people who will be working on this, right? The workforce needs to be trained on those tools. Now, if you have the old industry like Indorama today, 45, 50 plus employees, age is on a higher side. If I want them to use certain things which is highly technical, probably they won't be able to catch up with that thought process, that process requirement of the technology. So reality check is important, right? We can talk about 4, 5, 6, but it is important for the management, the leadership, to assess what is need, what is the requirement, and maybe there has to be phase-wise changes required. One phase, one time, then, right? So that's required. So once you know what is required, you need to know which one we need to pull, right? Which lever that we need to pull, whether we need to think of sustainability, whether we need to think of upskilling, whether we need to think of human centricity, human development, collaborative robots, creativity, emerging technology. So we need to pull the right lever based on our assessment, right?
Yeah.
So everybody is surviving, but the challenge is we can only survive if we are adaptable, right? It is not the strongest, it is not the best, it is not the best technology, it is not the best system, it is not something. It is all about adaptability. Adaptable to the industry, adaptable to the customer's requirement, adaptable to the situation. Imagine the current scenario where US is putting so much of tariff and they are changing the complete game plan, right? Where they're saying we'll be doing all manufacturing here, US. I'll not let anything from US going to other countries. Imagine the supply chain challenges that all Apple or Google or everybody is facing, right? So that's where we need to be very now. This is one of the reasons, though, where we are talking about why we are moving from 4 to 5.
Yeah.
Because adaptability is a human factor, not a technology factor.
Yeah.
Technology can only adapt it if human adapts, right? You feed certain things to the machine to operate in certain way. But your imagination, your future orientation, your adaptable, your changes, because things are changing very fast. You cannot work on certain things fed in a certain way. So adaptability is important, and there people are moving from 4 to 5. I'll come to that.
Okay.
70% of the digital initiative fail. Why? Because of top management, because of leadership, because of HR is not getting into. Still, we are saying it is IT intervention. We don't say it is cultural intervention. We don't say it is no, it's a human intervention. Change management is very, very critical when you do anything. So HR plays a big role when it comes to any change, whether it is technological change, whether it is process change. Change management is critical. So these are the top 15 innovation. I'll not get into all the 15. I shared the presentation. You can look at it. There are top 15 innovations happened in Industry 4, right? Whether it is Internet of Things, whether it is AI or machine learning, whether it is big data analytics, cloud computing, digital twins, advanced robotics, additive printing, augmented reality, cyber physical systems, edge computing, blockchain, and you have all these companies, whether it is Siemens, GE, Caterpillar, BMW, Universal Bots, Boeing, Tesla, Intel, they're all using some of these, right? So it is $310 billion in 2023. It's a huge market. It's a huge market. And there are all connected industry building. This is the biggest market, connected industry. So this is all about your cloud computing, analytics, hardware, right? It is connected industry building blocks. So these are the things which is into Internet of Things platform, right? It is about your sensors, microchips, stuffs, right? This is a big market. NVIDIA is the biggest player at this point of time, whether it comes to microchips, right? Now, Industry 4 supporting technologies, there are many there like robots, cobots, right? Cobots or say drones, right? These are supporting technologies. So there are technologies which is directly getting into the technology, and there are some which is supporting that technology, right? So these put together $310 billion, and it is going 37% CAGR. So huge, right? You got Siemens, Bosch, Honeywell, no ABB, all there. So big players are there, right? And there are adoption strategies, which is typically the all OEMs doing it. No, they are basically used on those areas, factories, OEMs. Imagine this global industry is large and it is growing heavily. So once it is there, means people are using it, right? And if it is growing so heavily, means actually people have started using it. So there's a huge change. There's a huge change. So they are all into it. Now, if you see here, advanced digital product development, which is the first part that I was showing, it is the biggest, which is almost 25 to $50 billion industry, additive digital product development, right? Then you have got data-driven quality control is this. So AR, VR, digital twins are the largest market. Now, you all must be aware that like you wear the goggles and you can see the system. When you look at that, you get every information about that product. You can feel the product. So you go to say, for example, you go to the restaurant and you see the menu card and you actually see the product, the item that you're ordering to eat, right? It gives you that same feel, right? So it gives, so similarly, if you go to and wear the goggles and see in front of the machine, it gives you everything. It guides you that switch on is this. If you do this, it will happen like this. Then you have to do this, prompting every stage to the worker. So that's called augmented reality, right? Or say virtual reality is something like you wear the glass and see that how your wine you create it from the vines, right? No, it goes to the orchid and you see the your grapes are getting taken from there and they create the wine. You get that virtual reality, right? So this is the largest market where people are creating the realities, right? So going to 5, It is more about connecting the human centricity. So that is, everything is around human being, right? So human robot collaboration. So now we are talking about technology. We are bringing back the human so that one robot, one human working together. So you can change the robot whenever it is required. You can ask the robot to change the course whenever required. The robot understands you. You understand the robot, right? And there is a symbiotic. So it enhances the speed, it enhances the safety, it enhances the decision making. That was missing in the 4. Decision making by you along with the robots. The robot will be helping you taking the decision. It will give you more insight based on your request, right? Then you have digital human twins, circular production, emotion awareness, quantum computing manufacturing, immersive work training. So all these are happening, and you have got BMW or ABB, Adidas Speed Factory I talked about, which failed, tried it. Then HP Smart Factories, Dassault. This Adidas actually last I think 2 months back or 3 months back, it failed. Like, it tried many ways. Philips Signify, pay per lux, right? Hitachi's Human AI, Volkswagen D-Wave, optimizing on logistic routes. So these are the top 15 innovations happened, and this market is very big. By 2034, if you see, market size of this industry will be somewhere around $987 billion. And there are companies like ABB, Honeywell, 3D System, Rockwell, Siemens. All these are now Industry 5 market. They are creating those products. And segments, typically by technology, if you see, these are the products that people are working on.
Okay.
Right? So there is a movement, and the heart of Industry 5 is talking about humanization of work, sustainability, resilience, talent attraction, and ethical nature. So these are the 4-5 areas that we are all talking about when we are moving from 4 to 5.
Yeah.
So Industry 5 actually gives the HR the edge, because Industry 5 talks about human-centric. It talks about well-being. It talks about genuineness of the asset. It talks about mastery of the talents. It talks about a journey. It talks about upskilling to resilient, becoming resilient, to make you more relevant. It talks about agility. It talks about change readiness. It talks about taking ownership, making a difference, respect values, part of the solution. Not so. Industry 5 is again coming back to the stage where it is making you more through the wisdom rather than intelligence. Industry 4 was intelligent. Industry 5 is wisdom. Right? Industry 4 was more about data. It is more about insight. Right? Industry 4 was more about getting all the technologies together, get best of the technologies. Here we are talking about, are we on the right purpose? What is the purpose? Are we helping the very creator of, or using, who is actually using your product, who is making your product? Are we helping them? Ultimately, somewhere we are also the consumer of the product that we are creating. Right? So is it helping us? Is it helping the employee? Is it helping the customer? That is important. Respecting the values. So Industry 5 is all about HR agenda, nothing else. It is HR.
Yeah.
So if somebody talks to you that Industry 5, it is HR.
Sure.
Right? It is more HR. So it is 3 things: human-centric, resilient, sustainability. Three things, right? So it is all about worker safety, healthy products, increased well-being, smart infrastructure, circular product. It is not about the dark factory. It is about bright factory with lot of purpose behind it, a lot of feeling behind it, lot of love which is there in the system. It is not about just those robots working day in, day out. You don't know what is going to happen with the product. It fails because you're not intervening in the right time.
Okay.
So it is all about cobots. Digitalization is done. Is there? There has to be a mind shift required. Mindset shift is very, very important from 4 to 5. And it is more important because we are not living a very standard life. It is VUCA. It is everyday changing. The volatility is high. The geopolitics is high. The need of the customers are changing every other day. The newness is coming, right? The climate change we are all talking about. So it is not in a simple world that we are living. It is in a difficult world living. So in that world, you need to have the purpose, the lighthouse, the leadership lighthouse is to be very, very strong, right? So this is what I thought of, like, no, which is important. So when we talk about industry 5, right? Industry 5 is all with its strategy, with the technology, with the data analytics, with the process innovation, with the engagement of team and customer, and the competence. When you put all these 6 things together, it is industry 5. If you move out strategy, it is just a digitization, which is industry 4. If you take out technology, it is a situation where people see the vision, but they don't have the tool. So frustration. If you take out the data analytics, it is basically you are not clearly on the decisions. So it is you're stagnated. If you take out process, it is coherent action. If you take out team, it is the resistance. And if you take out that I don't know how to do it, it is anxiety. Right? Employee feel unprepared, insecure. Right? So all 6 elements are important. I'll not get into this. I'll straight go to now the HR. Right? So how much time you have, Boo?
50 maybe. 10 minutes more.
10 minutes? Okay, fine.
Yeah. And
So,
Pak Jayanta, can we give the opportunity for the audience to ask?
yeah. Sure. Sure.
Oke, silakan Bapak dan Ibu jika ada yang ingin disampaikan langsung
So
pertanyaannya.
till now, I have just completed where we are.
Oke.
Now I'll get into what HR needs to work in this
Yeah.
kind of scenario, right? Okay, please.
Oke. Any question? Oke, silakan Aisyah Bilkis.
Hello, Mr. Jayanta. If you don't mind, I would like to ask, how can HR leader cultivate a learning culture, psychology safety, and openness to experimentation across the factory floor? Thank you
Right.
very much.
Yeah. So I think we'll get into the answers in the next slides, what HR needs to do now. And your question is very valid. It's very valid question where we all talk about how we can build that psychological safety, right? No, we all talked about that. No, when all machines will be coming, what will happen to the human being, right? What they will do, right? So from a perspective of a labor who is working manually, now is his job is taken by the robots.
Yeah.
The assembly line is now work with the robots. So that human being who is there, you really need to upskill that worker to do the supervisory role, right? Upskilling is required. The mundane roles will be challenging, where mundane roles in the future it will be all taken by the machine, the technology. the one which is value added role will be worked by the human being, which is more intelligent work, right? So HR has to work to identify clearly, create which is non-core, which is the core, which is the value added, which is non-value added. Non-value added things will be all done by machine because it only needs the speed. It needs speed. It doesn't need thinking. You want 4 items to be manufactured in a assembly line, they will do. It doesn't need any mind. You just need to do in a certain process. But when it comes to the supervisory role, where you need to see how we can add something which is more value added, there comes the work of the HR or the line managers to equip them with the right skill to do the analytics, to see how much things are happening, what we need to stop, when need to start, right? So upskilling is important. So I think it's a cultural change happening. I have seen the way it is happening there, where need to really communicate, and people will be happy to take up which is more higher roles. We are not, see, the biggest challenge in the leadership is that we sometimes don't agree on the fact that the person who is working in a lower level, right, they don't have the minds to do the higher level jobs. They cannot. That's the fixed mindset that we have. We need to think that, oh, these people can do larger roles. And once you form that mindset that these guys can do larger roles, you create the opportunities, the path to do it, right? So that's what is required in the learning, and it has to be continuous learning. So when I was talking about learning, it is important that augmented reality will be helping you learning fast, because it will guide you. It is not that you are trained in the classroom and you are asked to do. No, your whole training module will be going with you, right? In frame of augmented reality, you have the screen, you can see what is to be done. It will guide you, it will give you alarm, it will say right turn, it will say left turn, it will say that move the knob, it will say that no, it is only moved half, it has to be done full, right? So it will give every kind of direction for the employee to do. You don't need to learn anything, it is just guiding you. And when you do it every day, you automatically will be doing it very nicely. But that's called that, typically learning in a system, ecosystem, learning ecosystem. It is not required in the classroom. So that's the change happening in the learning community, right? So that's important. And that's the technology is helping you there. Right? Shall we go into this quickly? Did I answer your question?
Ya. Oke. Oke. Aisyah, mudah-mudahan bisa terjawab ya pertanyaannya ya Ibu Aisyah ya. Pak Jayanta, we have left 5 minutes
Okay.
before the session end, but maybe this is last question from Ibu Suchantriana.
Yeah.
Silakan Ibu
Yes,
Suchantriana.
please.
Selamat pagi Mbak Rini,
Ya,
Kanti. Good morning Mr.
Goodbye.
Jayanta. Thank you for your amazing sharing about uh, all things about HR in Industry 5.0. Maybe you have a suggestion for, especially for me, because I'm working at airlines industry. Maybe you have suggestion for improvement for me. Especially for human capital, maybe HR, as a HR, or maybe how we can, for example, now we use, for like your explanation, like use AI or anything else. Thank you, Mr. Jayanta.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting industry. Airline industry is very high technology driven. Whether you see Airbuses or say your no aircrafts, it's highly very high technology. You need a lot of sensors. They have got a lot of sensors, systems to help you. Now, when it comes to the various stakeholders in the whole industry, whether they are pilots, whether they are your support staff, whether they are engineers, whether they are ground staff people there, lot of things happening currently, which is HR is working on, is how to make the customers happy, which is very, very critical, because ultimately that is where this makes the industry better. So you know options are all across. When you book a ticket, like for me or anybody books a ticket for any airlines, they see a lot of things before they book a ticket, right? So first thing that they see that whether the airline is safe, right? So HR, it is very important how you build your brand, right? So still, lot of people don't want to book a flight on Malaysian Airlines. Still they don't want to. If you go to Africa, you will not book a single flight in African Airlines. Very difficult, very, very dangerous, right? So these are the images getting formed. How to break that image? Because those images are very, very scary images. That's number one. Second, once you book the airline, you want to get, because still we believe airline is the most costliest way of mobility. Train, bus, anything, airlines is the costliest. So when you put your money in your mobility, right, you want to get the best of the services from there. So HR needs to work on systems to help your support staff to satisfy the customers in the travel. The whole process, starting from a person is greeted at the counter where you get the tickets and you do all the processes. From there to the gate to the entry, every step needs to be assessed and see that how you can create processes and help with the technology, right? To support your people there. So it's a big thing. Boo, I think you can take one part and you can create with kind of AI to support your people, right? Still, say for example, still various aircrafts doesn't have the right kind of videos to say how exactly my aircraft looks from within inside, right? And if you got that virtual system in your booking system itself, that you can see how your seats will be looking like, how big will be the seat, what will be your leg space, is still not very, very clear. It's a big area that people are working on, so that you get a experience in booking ticket also. Still we are not very clear what kind of seat you have booked, what will be the size. You try to watch some YouTube video to see whether this airlines has got the right kind of seats. So opportunities are huge to actually work on it, right? And HR has to play a big role in creating those learning systems.
Okay, learning system.
Yeah.
Okay, gimana Ibu Suchan? I think this session
Thank
should be longer
you
ya.
very much, Mr. Jayanta.
Thank you.
Okay, Pak Jayanta, we have only have 1 minute for your closing statement. sir.
Okay. 1 minute. So I need to now touch the
Yeah,
HR.
we have.
Okay, so let me show you one HR slide. Yeah, the future HR matrices will be very, very critical, right? On the people front, you have reskilling, engaging, and empowering is important.
Okay.
Purpose has to be very clearly articulated, and HR plays a big role in embedding the sustainability and ethics in the purpose, right? redefining the human machine synergy, right? This will be very, very critical for your productivity, and design unique experience and learning journeys in personalization. And then you have to really think about the planet. So these are the 5 Ps, right? Aligning HR practices with environmental stewardship. So typical matrices we can work on is percentage workforce digitally reskilled. Check how many people in the organizations are digitally skilled. Still, a lot of people don't use the right kind of technology,
Okay.
right? Check that whether they are, no. And you know what the challenge is, like the today also in the morning we face this same challenge. Now imagine that when you are connecting to some no external platform,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The sync between your platform, my platform, because my platform is completely on team and the systems
Yeah.
are all aligned to team.
Mhm.
These are the things which is very, very important that no, we know, or maybe the support from IT that no, once you do that, this is the step,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? If you want to connect, so this is required. Employee well-being index is the second one, is very important. Like like Vivu was asking about the stress, the challenges that people will be going through when you move to the next level.
Mhm.
How we can work on the employee well-being index,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Participation is very, very important in creating the innovation. The creativity, participation from everyone. How many people are coming out with the new solutions? Do you have that, no, matrix, HR matrix?
HR.
Learning agility score. How fast we are learning?
Mhm.
What is your cycle time for learning new things?
Yeah.
Like most of the organizations, they say past skill, today's skill, and future skill,
Okay.
right? Past skill are gone, not required. Today's skill is there, maybe it will be used for 1 year. Next year, it is their completely different future skill. How we are transitioning, learning agility,
Okay.
AI adoption readiness index,
Mhm.
right? So if you are using some AI, seeing that, no, what is the readiness, right? Are we there with everything? Infrastructure is there, cost is okay, everything is there, and then no, what is the index? ESG linked engagement score, right? Attrition rate of digital talents, not
Mhm.
just talent, digital talents. See that software engineers or the people who are actually creating this, no, the implementation team, are they leaving,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And human AI collaboration success factors. These are the major matrices that you can think of, which
Okay.
will be required to be worked on.
Thank you. Thank you, Pak Jayanta, for your inspiring insight today. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so
Terima kasih
much.
Bapak Ibu juga yang pagi hari ini sudah bergabung di acara Leader Talks. See you again in our next Leader Talk series. Terima kasih banyak Pak Jayanta.
Thank you
Selamat
so much.
pagi.
Thank you. Okay, bye. Bye. Take
Bye,
care.
Bapak.
Bye. Bye.
Terima kasih semuanya sudah hadir.
Terima kasih.
Iya, Ibu Suchan.
Terima kasih Mbak Arini.
Ya,
Sehat.
Ibu.
Kak
Sampai ketemu
Anti
lagi.
izin live.
Silahkan Ibu. Sampai ketemu hari Selasa depan.
Ya, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.